Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel BethChatsBooks. Now today's video is going to be my 1 year on Booktube in review part 2, in which I will discuss previous videos that I have filmed and kind of have a critical discussion about some of the things I've learnt through those videos. And then I've decided that linking into this part 2, it will be quite useful for me to bring up a discussion video that I have been mulling over for the last few days and wish to talk to you guys about Booktube in general and Booktube controversies and how I feel about it, and just really to open up a discussion with you guys to see if you feel a similar way to what I do about what is being said about Booktube at the moment, and to kind of have my 2 cents worth on it all. So for now, I'm just going to go into the videos. So I'm not very tech savvy and I haven't been able to download the actual videos direct from YouTube onto my iPad. So I don't know what I'm going to do at this moment in time. Hopefully I'll be able to upload a picture, but I will definitely link down below all of the videos I mentioned so that you can go and check them out at your own leisure and take a trip down memory lane with me and my channel. But for now I'm just going to talk about them, and hopefully I will be able to get some kind of editing so you can see which videos I'm talking about. But the first one I want to talk about is the first ever video I did. So recently I've had to go back and rewatch these videos for a little bit of research, and I've written a few notes down below. So if I keep looking down below, it's because I've written a few brief notes to kind of aid me in discussing it. Obviously this is all a constructive and cathartic process to share with you guys how I feel, but it has not been easy, especially watching that video because it was my most embarrassing video I think I've ever done. So I watch it back now and it feels like a very different person to who I am. It's very polished and rehearsed, and I'm very nervous and my voice is very quiet because the house was full that day and I'd never been in front of a camera before, and I could hear people slamming doors in my house, and I was really self-conscious about them hearing me speak. And also I hadn't yet understood that Booktubers edit, they rehearse, they film many different takes for the video before they get the one they're happy with. So I was getting really frustrated because I filmed that video about a dozen times because I felt like I had to get everything perfect in one take, which as a booktuber you'll now understand never happens. Unless you know you're a very rare individual, or you're an individual that's not self-conscious about your ums and your ahs on your videos. So I edit them out, so obviously it takes me a long time to get a finished product video out. But yeah, it came across very rehearsed, and the voice, I was ridiculed mercilessly by my family after I'd uploaded that video because they went to watch it obviously, and they said it doesn't sound like my voice, it sounds like almost a telephone voice, you know, that people put on that's not really their authentic voice. So I am deeply embarrassed about that video, but it's all a learning process and it's helped me. I'm a different person from the person that uploaded that first video because I have understood now a little bit more about the mechanics of a channel through a whole year of producing them and watching others and listening to other people share their secret about their channel as well. So it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't know what more else to say about the video. It's not one I'm particularly proud of, but it helped start the journey, so I'll always be thankful for it, and I won't delete it because I think it's important to be able to mark your progress. So then the next video I'm going to talk about is my Camp Merrywood video. So I watched that next after my first video and I was really happy that it came across as a lot more natural. My editing at that point in time wasn't great. There was a few pernickety early cuts that made it a little bit jagged when you watch it, but that's me being a nitpicky content creator. I never really watch my videos back, and when I do always cringe a bit that the editing is a little bit crap, but I'm a content creator who really values the content I produce more than the visual or the editing process, because it's not my favourite thing. I don't want to spend hours finding the right moment and cutting in and adding music, which I'd love to be able to be motivated to do, but I just want to have the conversations with you. So when I film a video, I just plonk myself down, stick record on, and just tell you what I feel, and that's how I'm happiest as a content creator. So I kind of let those things slide. I know some people don't like that, but there is so much on Booktube to discover, so many channels, so much content, that you're bound to find these channels that have really pretty visual editing and music, and you can go and find them and you can go subscribe to them, but hoping that the people that subscribe to me and love me love all my eccentricities that come with the channel, the fact that it isn't perfect and polished, so there's that. But I was really proud of my Camp Merrywood video because it was the first time I filmed something that wasn't book related but that I really felt passionate about. Camp Merrywood has such a deep and important place in my heart, and I think it always will have. The kids that I met when I went out there, the experiences I had, the heartwarming environment that it is. It's a physically disabled camp where children from the age of 8 to 20 go for the duration of the summer in Canada. So it was amazing for me because I have nostalgia from travelling but also from the camp experience, and I really wanted to get across in that video how much I love that place and how much that place is deserving of money and of time and of people to go and see it. And if my channel could help a few people stumble across it and make the decision to spend a summer out there, then I did what I wanted to do, which was encouraging people to go and give to that camp, whether it is in donations or whether it is in a placement. So overall I was quite happy with that video. And also I'm so happy when I look back at it recently, it's had quite a few hundred views, which is amazing because when I first posted that, the idea of getting 50 views on a video was impossible to me. It was out of this world. So to get that many and to know that people who have been to the camp have seen the video and have had positive feedback from it is incredible. So, you know, it's more than I could imagine. So moving on. So the next one I want to talk about is my first ever Brewtown Babble. Now, I have a slight confession to make about Brewtown Babbles. When I first started it, I had a really regimented idea of what I wanted it to be, which I said in my first video. I want it to be for everything that's kind of non-bookish related as well as bookish related. Discussions, favourites, all that kind of thing conglomerated into one series, and that hasn't happened, and I've kind of lost a little bit of the thread of where I want Brewtown Babbles to go. So recently I haven't done as many of them. If I want to do a discussion video, I'll now name it as a discussion video. I have at the end of the month favourites, so at the moment it's kind of lost its place on my channel. So I just kind of want to ask you guys, where do you want Brewtime Babbles to go? I really like the notion of a Brewtime Babble. I know that a lot of big YouTubers do similar bookish chats, and I would love to do that. At the moment I haven't had as much inspiration to do general bookish chats, because I have had tags to do, 1 year anniversary things to do, Q&As to do, so I don't really know what to use that platform, that series for, but I would love it if you comment down below with some suggestions of where you want that to go. But aside from that, when I watched the Brewtown Babble back, I still felt I was going in the right direction. That one, more so than Camp Merrywood, still is in the transition period from the very shy first me to the more confident me that you see on these videos now. It was still a little bit wooden. I was trying so hard to look in control and calm and my thumbnails to look visually appealing that I kind of got lost in that. And when I think you first start a channel, you do get so lost in how do I look appealing, how do I sound interesting, because I am somebody who isn't particularly vain. I don't take loads of selfies, I don't film myself very regularly, so when I started this channel it had to be a transition of understanding who I am on the camera. So at first that was very difficult because I was very self-conscious. I don't have a family who were very supportive at the beginning of the whole process of Booktube. They thought it was pure vanity to sit at home and record myself. They didn't really understand the impact it has as a community, because obviously a lot of Booktube content creators will agree with me that it is strange to just sit in your room, tell everybody to leave you alone and press record. So at first people weren't that supportive of that, and at first I had an idea of how I came across, and then when I filmed I wasn't getting the authentic me across and I kind of struggled with that. So I think Booktube in general is a learning process. I still don't know who I am because I don't actively self-explore my identity, and Booktube is the first real attempt I've ever done to see what I project across to other people. And in that video I was definitely struggling with an identity. It wasn't coming across as authentic as I wanted it to. My family was saying, who's this strange person with this strange voice, and I think I wanted to look professional, and I missed the point that what was more important for my channel and for myself is to be the authentic person, to pretend that I'm talking to somebody and just let that authentic person come through. So even after a year I still think that's a learning curve. That's still something that I have to get to grips with, and I'm sure other content creators feel the same way, that you still have to learn all that you are, because when you meet other people in life, they have a very one-dimensional view of you based on what they've seen. So you're either the quiet one, you're the funny one, you're the eccentric one, you're the boring one, you're the shy one, depending on who you're with. And so it's very hard, because I'd had a lot of pre-notions of who I was based on what other people had said, and then when you do this channel, there's a new side that's created through this channel, and I'm still getting to grips with who that person is, if that makes sense. But I would love to know in your comments down below if people feel the same way. I've been thinking about that a lot recently, and I wondered if other people feel the same way, because some people look so confident and calm in front of the camera, and I wondered if they also have the same thought process about almost a different dimensional sense of self through this YouTube channel, and kind of learning about this new part of yourself that you didn't know existed before. Sounds deep, but I would really love to have a chat with some of my bookish pals about that, because I just want to know if they feel the same. Anyway, moving on. So then the next one that I watched was my first ever vlog. Now that is also, next to the first ever video I did, one of the most embarrassing videos I've ever done, because I look like a dingbat, because I didn't even film properly. I'm really not confident with filming. I don't do selfies. I know a lot of people on Snapchats or Instagrams do a lot of selfies and filters, and are used to filming themselves, and I'm not that kind of person. So the social media aspect of my YouTube channel has been hardest to come to terms with exposing myself and filming myself, trying to do vlogs. I have mentioned previously that my family aren't particularly interested in me vlogging or supporting vlogging or being on vlogs. I've never vlogged, so then from being in a position where you know absolutely nothing about vlogs and then attempting to do one was very nerve-wracking. And obviously, I've mentioned previously, I film on my iPad. I've never filmed on my phone, so then trying to do a vlog on my phone obviously didn't go very well, and it's all a learning curve. But I really liked the content I produced, and I know that if I had a free house and all the time in the world, I could get some really good shots. If I was alone on my own somewhere, I could get some really good filming shots. I know I can do it, but it's just trying to work out the logistics of doing it without upsetting the status quo around me with family, and just getting more confident with how to hold the camera and film in public, which does daunt me a little bit. But we've talked enough about that in previous videos, so I'm just going to move on. So then the last one is my first ever book review. Now, I was really happy with that book review. I think The Shack was the first one I ever did, by Paul Young. And basically I was really happy, and I wanted to talk to you guys about book reviews in general, kind of leading on to this, because I was really happy that it was a negative review, because I really wanted to be honest and authentic. And what I'm most proud of is that opinions about books, I have always felt on this channel I've been very open about, and I haven't thankfully had any major criticism for that. I feel like the community is quite supportive of people having diverse opinions. And that's one thing that motivated me to do the channel in the first place, is that I really wanted to get conversations going about books and to offload once I finished a book. In my normal life, when I finish a book, I'm desperate to talk to someone about it, and I found I'd never had somebody to talk to. Whether I loved it and wanted to rave about it, or whether I wanted to rant about it. And so that book review, that first book review I did, was very cathartic for me, because I could offload all the things that frustrated me about that book. And I could have a conversation at the end of it with someone. Some people didn't agree, and some people won't agree with your negative reviews, some people won't agree with your positive reviews, but it gets a conversation going. And to me, it doesn't matter whether I loved the book or hated the book. If I can get a conversation going about it, if I felt passionate either way and have somebody to have that conversation with, I think that's really important. So I'm really proud of that book review, because it was a step along the journey for me to be that more authentic self, to talk about things that previously people shy away from, which is people don't usually want to put negative content on their channel. But I thought it was really important that I did that, to show that this is a balanced channel, and it wants to talk about the good as much as the bad. So that is everything I want to talk about for those videos, and I will link them down below if you want to go and have a cringe fest and watch them. And you can comment down below on this video after you've watched them, and let me know what you thought, whether you feel the same way that I do. Anyway, ramble over for that. Now I kind of want to go into a semi-discussion / rant about what I've recently been watching. So there are 3 videos I've recently watched. One is Harriet Rose's Bad Booktuber video. The second one is RGS Devilship's Book Controversies. And the third one is Zoe from No Safer Places Book Break explanation video. So I'm going to link all three of them down below so you can go check them out if you would like to. And they all discussed very different things. So obviously Harriet discussed about why she feels she's been a bad booktuber and where she thinks the direction of her channel is going. Zoe talked about why she feels that social media around booktube had been very negative recently, and so she didn't want to be involved with that, so she took a book break. And RGS Devilship's Book Controversies talked about certain issues on booktube that she said had been issues 4 or 5 years ago, which are still relevant today, and kind of had a bit of a rant about them. So there were some threads through all of those videos that all of them raised that I wanted to kind of unpick and offload to you guys about, because I feel like there is a one-dimensional view of booktube that keeps getting represented and retweeted and reshared that I don't particularly feel I belong in or represents my version of booktube, the booktube I belong to. The first thing I want to talk about is Harriet Rose said on her video that she starting to lose the thread of what she thinks her channel is. She does content that she enjoys, it's not rehearsed. And since she's moving recently and she's not had as much motivation, she's kind of put more of a critical lens on her channel. She said in the last year her subscriber growth has grown considerably and wonders why. She just films what she likes and she thinks that that might put people off. It was kind of a bit of a wishy-washy video, but I really enjoyed it, Harriet, if you're watching. But what I wanted to offload on is that my channel, I feel, is very similar to what she was saying. I film what I want to. I have some ideas, some creative moments where I want to film loads of different videos, and then I have moments where I just want to film a tag, or I just have loads of things to get through, or I want to film a video on male suicide because that really motivated me that day, or I want to do a discussion. Now, what I want to get to the thread of saying is I don't think that's a bad thing. I honestly don't believe that many channels have an idea of where their channel goes, and the whole organic process of developing a channel is to learn more about yourself. I cannot organise every single week what videos are coming out, what content's coming out, and make it under an overarching theme, and I don't think booktube expects that of you either. In my personal experience, you can have this eclectic channel because we're all growing and we all have different passions, and there is an audience for everything. I don't feel like any of my subscribers judge me if one day I post a video of a wrap up and then the next I do a booktube babble and then I do a vlog and then I do this. I don't think we are that critical of content creators that we expect things that are polished, that have an overarching theme. I cannot categorise my booktube channel as anything. I can't categorise my subscriber feed, half of the channels on that, as any particular channel, or that they have any particular genre, or they promote any particular opinion. And I don't want that. I want this messy, eclectic stream of channels because that is real life, that is reality. We're all messy humans who don't know from week to week how we feel or what's going to motivate us. And I just kind of wanted to reassure Harriet on that, but also to raise that discussion of, do you want a polished and perfect channel? Do you feel like we should be judging channels on those kind of things? Because as a content creator and as a watcher of booktube, I do not feel that at all. I love that people go with the flow about what they want to put on, and I am motivated by all these different things. And I think viewer counts and this obsession with subscribers and viewer counts is ridiculous, because a lot of the time I particularly watch videos when I've got spare time. I don't judge people's videos as better or worse. If there are some of my favourite channels on my subscriber feed, if I see them and I have a spare 20 minutes, I'll put it on. And I don't judge people by the length of their channels or their clickbait or anything like that. A lot of my viewing depends on the time I have available, nothing to do with what the actual video is. And I think a lot of content creators are getting really mugged down at the moment about, well, when I did a vlog it had the lowest count ever, or when I did this it had the lowest count ever. Well, a lot of my videos that have the lowest count ever were the ones I started at the beginning of the year before I had any booktube friends, and I don't really judge that. The fact that we're now a year ahead, people aren't going to go back a year and watch a video I did a year ago, because it's no longer relevant for them, and it's a lot of effort to go backwards. So I just wanted to rant about that and just say I really don't think that booktube watchers or creators need to care about the content and it being polished and having a overall purpose, because what, as a person, what is our purpose all the time? I don't think we need to regiment our channels. I think that is destructive to the creative process in general. So that rant is over for now. And then kind of leading on to RGS, Devil Ships and Zoe's comments. Zoe was very selective and a little bit mysterious about how she said that Twitter in particular and other social medias were just creating this bad negative space she didn't want to be on. Now both of them reiterated this notion of the YA community, and what I've noticed is a lot of big tubers in particular, which really frustrates me, and it's not some of the older booktubers like Lauren and Jen and Simon, not those kind of channels, because those channels are more aligned with my version of booktube, but some of these other bigger booktubers constantly talk about things through the YA lens. Now in particular my newsfeed is devoid of a lot of YA content creators. I have people of all ages. I have a lot of older booktubers, to be honest. People a similar age to me or older, mid-20s. I have some booktubers who are in their 30s. I have a mix of men and women, a mix of different diversities in there, and I don't understand this obsession with YA. A lot of people have mentioned that years ago YA booktube was a big thing, but to me I don't really understand that community or engage with it because it's not represented on my newsfeed, and I kind of wanted to have a little bit of a rant about this because what annoys me is that people are talking as if the whole collective booktube community is YA, and everybody says derogatory things about it, about, well, all booktubers are YA and all booktubers are talking about these hyped books, but that is frustrating for me because that is not how I see booktube. I have an amazing subscription feed where people are reading translated fiction, where people are reading dystopian, where people are reading classics, and a lot of literary fiction and poetry and short story collections, and so I get really frustrated about this YA fantasy epic hub that everybody's decided is now booktube, because it really isn't my booktube. I don't care if you have YA channels. If I like how you talk about your videos, I'll watch them, but I don't want to read YA. My subscription doesn't have YA, but God forbid I'm subscribed to hundreds of channels and they're not YA, so why are we always talking about it as if it is YA? Zoe mentioned in a channel that everybody's been on the booktube very mature, and there's a lot of issues with that. My booktube social medias are filled with booktubers promoting other booktubers, retweeting them, promoting their books. I know Mark Nash, I'm in the process of reading his book, and I read Charles Heathcote's Our Doris, and it's just full of lovely promotion and encouragement. So I'm a bit frustrated that the booktube has become this general label for only one opinion and one dimension of the whole sphere of booktube, because I cannot relate, but it frustrates me as a content creator to keep being tarnished with that same brush that's not really relevant to me. On book controversy videos from RG Devil Ships about these Amazon wish lists and how people aren't promoting negative reviews and the sponsorship and all this stuff that I personally don't think of as part of booktube. I don't know anybody, I don't watch anybody that puts any Amazon wish list or feels they're a good idea. I don't have anybody on my subscription feed who feels like they can't upload negative reviews. I don't know whether it's my age or it's just where things are at the moment, but I'm very frustrated that these big booktubers who have thousands of subscribers are putting up videos like this, clickbaity videos that really don't encompass my booktube. I feel like booktube has been so supportive of me and I've been supportive of them. I have the most amazing conversations with people in my comments, and everybody's making out like booktube is this bad platform and people are abusing it, because that's not my interpretation of booktube. Also, they were referencing this whole booktube is dead issue, which to me, I've never watched any of those videos because I find it redundant. It's not relevant to me. Booktube is not dead, it's alive and thriving, and one of the things I'm most passionate about Booktube is that I believe there is space and room for everyone. I don't believe it is a platform where we need to be competitive, where we need to reach each other with subscribers and view counts, because the whole point of BookTube is to do what you love. I am over the moon with my subscription feed and my subscribers and where I'm at and the journey I'm at, but I also appreciate that it is a journey, and the most important things, the things that keep me posting, are to have these great connections with people of all different age ranges and all different walks of life. And this one thing that connects us is the fact that we can talk to each other through posting these videos. One slight note I wanted to mention is that, in particular, RG Devilship's video, she mentioned about diversity and how people are abusing the term diversity and looking really ignorant because white booktubers are trying to promote the fact that they have a mix of diversity in their reading, which makes them come across as really ignorant. And then she kept referencing that diversity, in what she termed diversity and what BookTube terms as diversity, is only race, which really infuriated me because this is not the case. One, I don't think white booktubers are coming across as ignorant for talking about diversity. I don't think people that belong to diverse groups feel like white people try and look better by reading diversity. I just don't get that experience. I feel like if people want to promote that they have diversity, or they want to raise a conversation about diversity, to me and to the BookTube that I watch, diversity is very vast. It covers gender, sexuality, race, political views, cultural views, and I don't really understand why there is reference that we only talk about race. I really don't feel like that. I have a mixture of loads of people on my subscription feed who talk about all kinds of different things and things that motivate them. For example, Jasmine's videos, she loves talking about philosophy in hers. Like Simon from Savage Reads likes reading a lot of gay and lesbian fiction. I know that Jen from Jen Campbell loves poetry, and I really just feel like diversity is such a broad topic, and I think people are addressing it in a broad way. I know that Matthew from BethChatsBooks is doing a read-along of a Chinese epic fantasy book, I believe. I've forgotten the name off the top of my head. I know that Shazza from Hooked on Books loves translated fiction. So I feel like there is a lot of diversity, and I get irritated that this label that anybody that's white that decides to open a conversation about any kind of diversity is using white privilege. Some of my favourite books are from diverse authors that are not white, and I don't want to be ridiculed as being ignorant for enjoying those books and for connecting with them. I basically wanted to know if anybody else feels more similarly to me, that this just isn't their representation of BookTube, that they don't feel that way. And, you know, I'm hoping that this rant encourages my viewpoint of BookTube to get more promotion and to be seen more, because to me, BookTube is an inclusive, encouraging, lovely place in which people from all walks of life can be connected through their love of books. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back very soon with a brand new video. Please hit the subscribe button if you want to be alerted for when any of my future videos come out, and I'll see you very soon.